First of all, exercise selection, the 5 to 8 big exercises are doing a much better job in developing your body than all those isolation exercises we can put around. If you are, for an individual reasons, not able to do one of those exercises, we need to substitute. But if you're healthy, we need to make sure you're getting better, aka train progressively, in one of those big exercises. When I tell my clients how I structure my plans, I always tell them the big stones come in the glass first, because you can put all those little stones around the big stones, but the other way around it doesn't work. If the glass is full of little stones, the big stones have no place in the glass anymore. So as this analogy tells you, we need to choose the big exercises first. This is number one. Number two, don't pick too many exercises. Why? Because the more exercise you put in one plan, the worse the adaptation to the single exercise gets. For example, if I put squats, chin-ups, dips, deadlifts, leg curls, biceps curls, crunches in one training plan, first of all, you will be 2 hours in the gym, which is just from a hormonal standpoint not the ideal way to do it. And number two, you will be so fatigued after exercise number 3 that the intensity you will do number 4 with is so low that your body has not the stressor it needs to adapt in this direction. So the much more intelligent way to do it is pick a few exercises which have the most return of investment for you and get better at it. So my rule of thumb is don't do more than 5 to 6 exercises in one plan. Very important when you do a plan, it contains of many parameters. Sets, reps, breaks, tempo, and for sure intensity. If you don't write it down, you will over time for sure forget what you did last training. So one of the most important rules in strength training is write down what you did in a given training session to be at least 1 kilogram or 1 repetition better when you do it the next time. Another thing which I try to teach my clients is to have variation. Many people stick to the set rep scheme 3 times 10 to 12 pull downs, chin-ups, bench presses or whatever for too long. This is a classical hypertrophy set rep scheme, which is not bad, but it just works for a given amount of time. So if it doesn't work anymore, we have to change the plan. So there is no perfect training plan. There is just a perfect training plan for a given moment in time. So for example, if I did 6 weeks, 3 times 10 to 12, maybe afterwards it makes sense to do 4 times 6 to 8. Or even a 5 times 5. A good coach is a good coach because he can decide when it's time for the right set rep scheme. So variation is a big factor to be successful over time, because a training plan just works for statistically 6 to 8 sessions, and afterwards we need to adapt and to change little things to make you train progressively for a longer period of time. Another factor is frequency. For example, if you train 2 times a week, you need to have a full body program, because scientifically seen, you need to train one movement pattern, like let's say for example the squat, the split squat, the dip or whatever, twice a week to have optimal recovery, and on the base of optimal recovery, progression in the next training session. So if you just do 2 sessions, ideally you would say Monday, Thursday or Tuesday, Friday, to have a good recovery in between, and then set the next stimulus, the next training, because you're optimally recovered and can progress. If you have more time, more energy or recover better, then we could train 4 times a week. And this is the frequency we need to do a split. And then there are many ways to split a training plan. For example, you could do upper body or lower body. The plan I gave Kevin and Benyi, for example, was a split from upper body and lower body. So what we did in training A, which was on Monday, was squats and back extensions. There's a lot of posterior chain work, and we did a lot of sets and reps for the squat, because in my opinion is one of the most important exercises. So we just chose those 2 exercises and secured that they got better from session to session. And the plan on Tuesday, for example, was upper body, containing 4 to 5 exercises like chin-ups. I like to combine in a so-called Doppelstationstraining, that's the official name, where you combine antagonists. So one pushing exercise you combine with the pulling exercise, which is just time efficient. and makes you able to do more work in less time. So all in all, if we think about the optimal training plan, if you choose weight training as an option for you, which I highly recommend, even if you don't find the time, even if it's maybe not the thing which you have a passion for, even once a week would be enough. So the less you do it, the more important makes it to consult an expert. So I highly recommend to work with a personal trainer or someone who's really into program design to help you with those first 2, 3 to 10 programs to really secure you have progress and return on invest.